Platinum X here, back again with MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. So this is just after Act 1. The first 4 missions, you start here for the first 3, then you go over here for the last one, and then that ends Act 1, and you're able to leave the system. Those first 4 missions, that Act 1, basically you have to go through before entering this, basically, free roam. However, space travel does cost money. So just to jump to one system away takes 13 days and 50,000 credits. Now if I go to the next system, it's 20 days, so it's not quite as long if you continue, if you do it in one jump. So 20 days, not 26 days, but still double the price, 100,000 credits. So if I go here, that's 3 systems away. So each system from then is 7 days. That first one is 13, but then after that it's an additional 7 days for each system you jump. And as you can see, it's now 150,000, so it's 50,000 for each system you jump through. These are industrial zones. That's where I'm at now. That's where you will find more extensive list of items to purchase. Ballistic weapons, lasers, and of course the higher tier, that's a tier 3 laser, large laser. The higher tier the weapon, the more effective it is. It could be more damage, higher rate of fire, lower heat, maximum, different things can change each tier. And then there's only 4 bars there that it shows, but there is a tier 5. Tier 5 is the highest, and I guess it's like the whole plate's a different color, is why it's not like another like bubble or bar, whatever you want to call those. Anyway, so these are laser weapons. Well, here actually, let me go back to, here was a PPC right here, a rank 1 PPC. 10 damage, 12 rate of fire, 8 heat, 920 range. So you can see this tier 2, again the range went from 920 to 966, heat went down from 8 to 7.6, rate of fire increased a little bit, and damage increased a little bit. So basically everything went up. Alright, but moving forward, these are missiles. You have 2 types of missiles: LRMs, long range missiles, and SRMs, short-range missiles. The number indicates how many missiles are fired in each salvo. So the larger the rack, the heavier it is, the more heat. Like here's a 10, it's 5 tons. A 15, 7 tons. So you're only adding, it's only two more tons heavier to add 5 more missiles to your rack. And then 20 is 10 tons, so another 3 tons to take it up to 20. And 20, basically it goes 5, 10, 15, and 20 for LRMs. SRMs do more damage, but the racks are smaller. They're more like rocket launchers, point and shoot. These are guided, meaning you have to lock on with your radar before you can fire without lock on, but I mean you're not gonna like hit with which, I mean, you can still fire them at buildings and things. That's why you can fire without locking on, because missiles are great for like demolition missions where you're destroying buildings and such. But anyway, SRMs are more short range. Again, they're rocket launchers, point and shoot. You got 2 racks, 4 racks, and 6 racks are your sizes for SRMs. Melee weapons, you have to have a melee specific mech. It has to have like a hard point to equip the melee weapon, because mechs are based on tonnage. So again, the configuration of the mech has to be factoring in the weight of the weapon. So again, you have to have that hard point or weapon slot to equip melee weapons, with the exception of like fists and knuckles. Fists and knuckles are specifically to increase melee attacks with non-melee weapon mechs. Like any mech, you can put fists. I mean, it's categorized by the size of the mech. So this is a light mech fist. So this will increase the damage of your punches for a non-like melee weapon wielding mech, which is what like hammer, mace, claymore. Anyway, this is just the menu for for ammo, jump jets, heat sinks, and then there's others like different types of items too. Superchargers are to boost the speed of your mech, but the mech itself does have to have the slot to equip the supercharger. And there's other types of equipment as well. But any type of equipment, again, it has to be a specific configuration of the mech that has the slot available to put it in. And then, of course, this is where you can sell. But if you look down at the bottom, it says market operated by. That's the Davian symbol. I'm in the House Davian space. And that shows I'm in a recognized standing, which gives me like a +1 bonus in my reputation with them, which is why I've got a 5% discount as well as sell price. So that affects both. Now, I don't usually sell things because there's no limit to your inventory. Or if there is, it's like so huge you're not likely going to reach it before selling stuff. I usually wait until I max that modifier out, that buying and selling discount. It goes up to 25%. So you have to max out I max out my reputation with the house before selling like all the junk I don't need. Mech market. Every system in an industrial hub is going to have a mech market. But if you notice, all of these mechs are damaged. That right there is surprisingly not very damaged. That's actually not a bad buy, considering it wouldn't cost that much to repair it. But one like this, where you got to replace the leg, well, that's going to cost more. And this one's got both legs blown off and an arm and a torso, I think. So this one costs a whole lot more to repair. But if you'll notice, the purchase price is different. So it's taken that into effect. The damages, you're only buying what you get what you pay for, basically. However, there's no way I would pay this much for a 20-ton mech. This is the smallest mech there is. There's two different mechs that are 20 tons. Those are the smallest, but they're really fast. They're among the fastest mechs, and that's kind of the whole point of them. They're more like scouts, I guess. But as little armor as this mech has, especially in its center torso, if you're going full speed, that 129.6, and you run smack into something, it could destroy your mech. So I don't really use these. Spider is a little bit heavier, it's 30 tons, and it goes by 5. So we go 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, etc. So a spider mech is a little bit bigger, 30 tons. Doesn't go as fast. And these really, again, they're like scout, recon. Don't really have a lot of firepower. So again, not something I'm interested in. But of course, this is where you can sell your mechs as well. These are the mechs that are in my mech bay right now. And that's all I've got, considering this is a new playthrough. And then, I don't know.
Ready, sir. Let's get to work.
Barracks. These are the pilots that are available for hire here. Every one of the systems in an industrial hub is where you hire pilots. Well, I've already basically hired this pilot from here. So I came here to hire a pilot. I've got a pilot, as I basically just showed. Damn it. I've got 3 mechs. So I needed a third pilot. So I came here to get that third pilot. I have that third pilot. Time to move on. But the other thing is, in an industrial hub, you do not suffer any conflict zone price increases and time increases on your repairs. So it's usually, if you've taken a lot of damage and need to do a lot of repairs, it's best to get into an industrial hub before starting those repairs. That way you're not paying that penalty price. Now this is a new mech I just picked up in the last mission with the pilot, and the pilot who is using it, Leon. So I picked up in the last mission. I got a new pilot, Leon, who we encountered during the mission, and then of course his mech that he was piloting. Now this mech, not really a big fan of, because I always like to, number one, max out the armor. And to balance the torsos, right, left, and center, have front and rear armor. And a general rule of thumb is divide the number by 4. So in this case, 9, I always just kind of like round it. So I'm going to put 9 on the back. Put the rest on the front, so 29 and 9. So what, again, my general rule of thumb is three part, the front should be 3 times the rear. So 38's a bad number. Let's jump over here to the center torso. It's got 52. So dividing that by 4, we've got 13 and 39. So again, the front should be 3 times the rear, and that's just a general rule of thumb. Do what you want, but you know, I had a friend that I played with that his strategy, he put more on the rear after I told him general rule of thumb, and when he basically got destroyed in the mission, and I'm like, you know, when I looked at his mech and was like, dude, well, that's why you got destroyed. You didn't have enough armor on the front of your mech. And his strategy to putting more armor in the rear was because he kept shooting his own pilots in the back. So I was like, dude, that's not a good strategy to have, man. Stop shooting your pilots in the back. Anyway, yeah, like I said, just general rule of thumb. However, what we could do is balance that out, maybe. Put 10 on the rear. So that's kind of, again, that's not a number that's evenly divided by 4. So again, that 1 point either way, you know, it's whatever. Arms, if you notice, the weapons are on the arms. So we want to make sure we've got the max armor on those arms, because we don't want our lasers getting blown off. Okay, so I've maxed out my armor, but if you notice, I'm not even. I got 33.31. Which, I mean, I could still go with as long as I don't go over 35 tons. So it'd basically be like 34.81 is what I would wind up getting this mech up to when I get it fully equipped. I don't like that. I can't stand that. So what I'm going to do is take some points out of the head and a couple out of the legs. 3 ways to destroy a mech. Destroy the center torso, take off the head, or destroy both legs. So again, this is where you want the most armor. You want your legs, which you can see the legs even have more armor than the right and left torso, on the front anyway. And the center torso, again, has got the most armor. The head, however, because this is a light mech, and the head on this particular mech is kind of hard to hit anyway. That's why I was okay taking a little bit, taking a little bit of points out of the head. Plus, it's a fast-moving mech, so it's kind of hard to hit in the first place. Well, that only leaves us 2 tons. Well, these missile launchers, I mean, that 4-rack weighs 2 tons without the ammo. You can do half a ton of ammo or a full ton of ammo. So, again, maxing out the armor, and like I've even taken off the jump. That's why I don't like this mech. because again, I've stripped off the jump jets, I've taken off the missile launcher, and to max out the armor, and I've only got 2 tons remaining. So what I'm going to do instead is put 2 heat sinks, because 4 medium lasers will generate, you know, a good bit of heat. So if I don't have the heat sinks to get rid of it, this mech's constantly going to be overheating. So again, that's why I really don't care for this mech, because, I mean, again, I've stripped off the jump jets, stripped off the missile launcher, so it's got 4 medium lasers and enough heat sinks to, you know, continue firing those, you know, regularly without overheating. So this is okay, but again, it's like I've stripped half. You know what I mean? It's like, anyway, it is what it is. So I'm gonna go with that. So there's a list of everything being done to the work order. You know, uninstalling something takes time and money. And then installing something takes time and money. And then, of course, repairs take time and money. And basically, that's each point of armor that I put on it. You know, installing armor in all of those places. So 64,000, 15 days. And I've already configured the Javelin. You know, this one's got 4 medium lasers also, 5 heat sinks, and it's got its jump jets, and it's fully armored, which actually my armor's kind of screwed up. Here, I gotta reconfigure the armor here. Since there's no weapons on these arms, I really don't care if they get blowed off. Of course, it would increase the repair cost of the mech, but I'm not I'm not losing any efficiency in battle other than I won't be able to punch. All right, see, this is a perfect example. This one is 40, so 30 and 10. Take some more points out of the arms. I got a couple of points I can put right here. Wow, hang on. Alright, what I need to do here, let me take off one of these jump jets. Max that armor. Pick up another jump jet, max armor. Okay, so I'm going to put that jump jet back on. And there. Or actually, I could go 24. There we go. Yeah, these light mechs, it's hard to take the head off of these light mechs. So that's why I'm taking the points out of the head like that. And 28, so what's that, 7 and 21? I didn't realize I hadn't configured the armor on this thing. But this thing with 5 heat sinks, like I can non-stop fire those lasers. Like, this thing does not overheat at all. Which I do have. Oh, I have to buy that, which I'll buy that. Well, no. No, I don't need to buy that. I'm just going to go like that. Okay. Now, the latest DLC for this game did introduce arena battles. That's done in the Industrial Hub. So normally there's no missions available in the Industrial Hub, but again, the arena battles are in the Industrial Hubs. That icon right there is a rare mech, and it says right there, rare mech on market. All a rare mech means is it can be any mech. It's just fully repaired. When I was in the mech market, you could see they were all damaged. You have to, you know, after you buy them, you still got to repair them. Well, a rare mech means it's fully repaired. It's not like a special mech. It could be any mech. It's just fully repaired. Is why it's saying it's rare. So when you buy it, it's good to go. Unless you want to configure it like I just did, configure some of those other mechs. to your preference. Now, since I've got my third pilot, my third mech, I'm gonna go back over here. You see this little symbol? We go over here to operations. Before I left that system, I picked up the mission armed robbery, and it's more like a campaign thing. It can actually, it's like a mission chain. So it'll start with one and then lead to the second one. They could be 2, 3, 4, it varies. This one I think is just 2. So it's for Interstellar Expeditions, who is the employer we've already been working for to get us out of that system. So we already have a good reputation with them. So it's Interstellar Expeditions, +1 negotiation point. It says subsidiary of Independence. So if you look up at Independence, again, I'm in a +1 negotiation point. I'm at 49 points, which puts me in a positive reputation with Independence. So since I've already been working for Interstellar Expeditions, let's go ahead and jump over here and start that. In each one of these conflict zones, that's what this is called. And this, it shows right there what the increased costs to repair and increased repair time is. In this particular, this is the newbie zone. This is where we started. So again, recommended reputation 3. Well, that's what our reputation is right now at this time. So again, we're going to go ahead and jump over here and get this mission started. Alright, going to contracts. That's a contract from Karita House against Independence, which I'm not going to be taking. As you can see, I'm suspicious with Karita and at a -1 negotiation or faction standing, whatever. This is where we're at. It says quest right there, armed robbery. It's an assassination type mission, which means we're to find a mech, or it's actually a pilot. We're to find a pilot and destroy his mech. Difficulty 7. Shouldn't be that difficult, but can't ever really rely just on the number alone. But anyway, the higher the difficulty, the higher, of course, the higher that number goes. So we've got 4 negotiation points. That's a combination of our bonus from our standing with this, from the Interstellar Expedition, the one hiring for this mission, our employer. So we got an increased reputation point from them, from our reputation, and then or our faction standing with them, and then also we've got another point from our mercenary, like, reputation. Again, we're reputation 3. So again, we're getting another point from that. So we got a total of 4. So this early in the game, if I put all 3, if I max out salvage, puts me at 12 points of salvage. That is enough to pick up a damaged light mech. So you have to do, good bit of damage, like blow both of its legs off, or blow an arm off and a leg off. You got to do some damage to it to be able to salvage it off the battlefield with 12 points. Well, I'm really not I'm not really care to get any more light mechs at this time. Well, there is one specific light mech that I do like, that I would like to get. However, I'm going for max payout, because then I can just buy whatever mech I want once I get, enough money. And then we'll put the other point into salvage, for like weapon components and stuff like that. That might be on the salvage list. Alright, so let's get, hang on, let me go back to that, hit triangle to view contract. There's how we negotiated the contract, but if you hit square back, it'll allow you to read it. A Merc company has left its mech repair depot undermanned while they prepare to leave the system. This is minimal presence around the garage where valuable components or possibly a mech under repair might be found. Take out their head of security, and the remaining outfit is bound to withdraw, which will give you full run of the depot. So that's the assassination mission. We're to find this head of security, take him out, and then we can loot the facility. Now it says deployed tonnage. This is a 50-ton mech. This is my heaviest mech. This is the pilot that I just hired, and this is Leon that I, picked up automatically through the last mission. So you automatically get Leon no matter what because you have to go through that mission before you enter free roam. This is the one that I just purchased here in this system. I'm gonna let Leon keep his mech and give the new guy the javelin. So that puts me 30 tons underweight. So I could buy that spider mech. Well, it was in the system that I jumped out of. So if I had bought that spider mech and hired another pilot, I could also use that mech as well. But I really don't need to. So we're gonna go ahead and ready. Now I did this once before, but then wasn't really happy with I guess the way, not the mission, but by the time I got to the end of the recording and ended the video, I wasn't really happy with it, and I deleted it, and then I just slapped myself on the forehead and was like, what the hell did I just do? Because the two mechs that we're going to encounter here, I took both their heads off quickly. I mean, it was just clean kills, ripping their heads off, which is the most effective way to take down a mech. But anyway, hopefully I can do it again. So you see how I keep like moving and stopping? So go to advance, push up on your D-pad. Go to advance, which is left on the D-pad, and then down, which is throttle DK off. So now when I throttle up, it stays up, unless I specifically throttle down. And that's up and down on the left joystick. So when I throttle up, now that I've turned that DK off, I'll keep moving. And then the right stick controls your torso.
Once you've found a targeted asset, move up to it, and we'll begin the recovery procedure.
So even after you've completed the mission, or before you finish the mission, you can always do a full sweep of the area to find loot like that. We got 13,000 C-bills with a large chemical laser level 1. I really don't often use chemical lasers because they require ammo, and they don't do as much damage as regular lasers. But I have used them in some mech configurations only because I have used them. I mean, they do have a purpose. However, I don't normally use them. My preferred weapon is lasers because it's the easiest way to rip heads off. It's a little bit more hard. It's a little harder and just requires more skill to take heads off with ballistic weapons. But let me tell you, there's nothing like the of an AC-20, and then you just see the mech fall over because you took its head right off with the big gun. Same thing with gauze rifles. Gauze rifles don't make quite the but they are a longer range weapon. It's kind of like a sniper rifle. So it's kind of cool being able to snipe mechs, just rip their heads off from a long distance away. So gauze rifles are another big gun. Kind of going slow here because again, I'm not sure where these mechs are. Until they're in visible range, you're not going to see them. They're not going to show up on your radar. They could be powered down. If they're powered up, they should show up on your radar. But if they're powered down, which sometimes when you're approaching these bases, there could be mechs on the inside that are powered down and are not going to show up on your radar until they power up. So that's something you could do as a defense mechanism or tactic, is power your mech down so that you're not showing up on radar. Alright, good deal. Still no mech. Now, as far as looking for loot, more things to, more salvage, it's always a good idea to hit these corners. The corners are common places for loot to be hiding. And there is none here, because it would have showed up by now. Oh, there's another turret.
Target destroyed.
Dude, get out of my way.
Hostile spotted. Engaging.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Now those things can land on you and damage you. Now notice here, alright, the top crosshair is my arm. The bottom one is my torso. So it's nice to have weapons on your arms because you have more range of motion and more of a targeting range. Torso though, you have a very limited, you know, if it's not like in a more narrow field of vision in front of you, then you're not going to be able to target, like, hit it. So like when that helicopter was right above me, you know, I can't hit it with my torso lasers. So again, that's why weapons on the arm are nice. Alright, no loot there either.
Walk on up to the treasure to pick it up.
Wait, hold on. He said walk over to the treasure to pick it up. Oh, shit, it was behind us. Oops, quit firing that gun.
Acquired.
Now you have to maintain your lock. If you break your lock while your salvo is in the air,
Target acquired.
you're likely gonna miss. So you have to maintain that lock. You can still, like, you know, like target something over here because, oh no, I lost my lock.
Target destroyed.
So you can still use your gun to, like, shoot it. You know, if a turret was shooting at you while your missiles are going after that one target, as long as you're not moving too far away from, like, as long as your crosshair, I guess, is not moving too far away from the target that you got missiles going at, you could still fire your arm cannon or your torso lasers at a turret or something without breaking your lock. Alright, there's one of the targets. Now this is what I was saying, I took this thing's head off. Ooh, boom, just hit him in the head. Again, it takes a little more skill to take the head off with the ballistic weapon. Oh, that was a bad shot. Boom, I got him with a headshot.
Out of the picture, and we'll be able to get ourselves some of this much needed resources. And hey, the inner
Oh
sphere
shit.
is a better place
That's
without
not
him.
cool. That thing's dropping mech right on top
Now
of me,
let's get
man.
you all home. Head to the
Alright,
Eva
there's the
point.
Centurion.
New target.
Enemy ship landing at your location. That target is ours. Ha, that makes it jump out now.
Alright, I need to quit worrying about this thing. I'm gonna put them on it.
The boss.
I'm gonna go after that Centurion. Get him off of my other mech here. And ooh, man, they kind of tore this thing up. Oh shit. see if I can take its head off before destroying that center torso. Boom, I got its head.
Excellent lucky shot.
Nice, alright.
We're moving, Commander. We are Oscar Mike.
And you use the D-pad to control your lance. I'm telling them to back off and go away because I got another mech over here to deal with. And I don't want one of them getting destroyed while I'm dealing with this thing. This is an urban mech. It's a light mech. Very slow, but it does have a very... That weapon right there can do a lot of damage.
Target destroyed.
Not sure what destroyed him. I didn't even fire at him when he went up, but... Alright, let's get out of here. I'm gonna recall my lance, select all, form on me.
Commander.
What is shooting at him? I just saw something hit him. Turret, maybe? Okay, mission complete. Didn't really get a whole lot of reputation there. Got a large chemical laser, a small chemical laser, got 1 million C-bills. This is basically the breakdown. Now, taking the heads off of those mechs, as you can see, the most salvage points I could have got was 12 points if I put all of my negotiation points. Well, the most it would let me do is 3 points. So I can only get up to 12. So as you can see, taking the heads off of both those medium mechs without doing a lot of other damage, like blowing off limbs, there's no way I would have got it down to 12. Like, I would literally, even if I blew everything away except for the head, it still probably would not have gone down to 12. So as you can see, 24 points, 23 points. The Centurion took a lot more damage, but still was taken out with a headshot. Which, if I hit item info triangle, you can see I took the head off. Took the head off. And that's a beautiful kill right there. That is completely fully, I mean, it's hardly just little minimal, just a scratch, just a ping on the armor. Ripped its head off. That's a $350,000 repair for a brand new mech. But, and you can see it says value 3 million. But I don't have enough points to pick it up. Even again, had I put all my points into salvage, I would have only had 12 points. And that is why, I mean, this is exactly, I'm basically just showing the reason why I put all of my points into payout. So I could get the most money out of the mission, because I knew I wasn't going to have enough points to salvage anything like that I wanted. Because I'm not, I don't want this flea. This is the other 20-ton mech. There's only two 20-ton mechs. A flea and a locust. Not interested. Okay, not at all. Not for 1 second. Don't care. Don't want it. So again, that's why I negotiated the contract the way I did. So now I can put 2 points into that. Get that, and then get those. Ammo is really expensive, or like missile ammo is expensive. So picking up ammo, of course it says I've already got 5. But, you know, it's more valuable than the rest of the salvage here in the list. Alright. Now if you look to the right, the bottom right, you'll see the breakdown of the payout. Base payout, negotiated bonus, killed the target, got 2 battlefield loot. two of the things that I just popped up. You know, hey, loot or treasure, whatever. I can't remember exactly what she called it, but anyway, those are the two the little boxes that I looted. Okay, there's just a summary of who did what damage, who killed what, and it shows the skills that increased. Because the Centurion has all three weapon types, and I used all three weapon types, I increased my skill in all three weapon types, as well as all three piloting skills. I've gone over this before, but I'll go over it again. The first one is ballistics. That's autocannons, machine guns, um, and rifles. Basically, it requires ammo. Energy weapons, all your lasers. Chemical weapons are considered an energy weapon and does use ammo. It's kind of a rare an exception there, but most laser weapons do not require ammo. They just generate more heat than ballistic weapons. Um, PPCs are another energy weapon, but anyway, and then missiles, LRMs, SRMs. The piloting skills is it's like defense or armor, meaning the higher you get it, the more like damage mitigation you have. And then heat control. How the skill, I don't know that it reduces heat. I'm not sure how the heat, it's like a heat management. I don't really know how that skill pertains to you specifically. I mean, I can understand from an AI perspective, your pilots, you know, managing their heat so they're not overheating their mech. But as far as you, well, I'm not sure if that actually reduces heat that you generate or not. But then the other one is evasion, so you're more likely to evade a hit and not get hit at all. But then both these other mechs, they only have energy weapons, so that's why they only increased in their energy skill. And then Leon got some evasion points. I don't know why he didn't get any of the other points. He did take damage, but the other guy who took more damage, took the most damage, he basically increased all three of his piloting skills. Okay, so all right, so we were able to recover a mech chassis. It says right there, the Locust, that's a 20-ton mech. So we actually recovered a light mech during the mission, but he's saying he doesn't really need it. His clients don't want it. Consider it part of your payment. So we also got a 20-ton Locust mech from that mission. And got a couple more medium lasers. Now, if you hit the little pad in the middle of the controller, you can actually go over each one of these. We increased our reputation, got the Locust mech, it's fully repaired. 2 medium lasers, tier 2 medium lasers. Cool. Alright, so there's no other contracts here that I want. I don't want to work for Kurita against the Independents. Now, this is where the repairs, we're in a conflict zone, so we're suffering that increased cost, an extra 10,000, almost 11,000, and an additional 2 days to complete. Alright, so 7,000, an extra 7,000 in 6 days. So it's total 43,000, 6 days to complete. However, I'm going to put those tier 2 lasers on this guy. I'm going to go ahead and see about configuring this thing, perhaps. We do not need these heat sinks, or at least we don't need that many heat sinks. Match the armor. $5 and $15. So that's very low armor. You can see now maybe why I choose not to use these things. Now, I could add another ton of machine gun ammo, but there's no machine gun ammo here to buy. So I guess I could just put, since I can't put another ton of machine gun ammo on here, I'll just put one of those heat sinks back on there. And then my Centurion, I wanted to put those, since they're in the center torso, like I wouldn't put these higher tier weapons, these higher tier on my arms, because the AI, your opponents, your enemy, the AI is designed, it's going to target your highest tier weapon. Like the AI is literally designed to blow your weapons off. So you put higher tier weapons on it, they're going to target your higher tier weapons. So, but the thing is, since it's in the center torso, the most protected area of the mech, I'm going to go ahead and put those tier 2 lasers into my center torso. Didn't really take a whole lot of damage, so it's really not, that is just, oh, okay, repair all, there we go. It's like I didn't click to repair it. All right, so there we go, 48,000, 16 days. So if you noticed in the loadout, it took a day and cost money to uninstall those tier 1 lasers, each one of them. And then again, another cost and another time frame to install the new ones. All right, now this, oh, I thought there was another mission in that chain. I guess not. Yeah, it didn't lead to another one. I thought there was 2 missions in that one, but apparently that was just a standalone single mission. And yeah, it's gone. Okay. Now at this point, we are in free roam. Again, I've gone over space, traveling, though, does cost money. So you can't exactly go jumping all the way across the system. And that right there takes 1,100,000 credits. So I mean, I've got that money. I can jump over there if I wanted to. Now, out of range means you can't plot that far, and you can't plot that far. Even that's out of range, even though it is showing us the cost. So I basically, with 4 million, I could basically go anywhere I wanted. But I don't want to spend all my money just to travel somewhere that I really don't need to be right now. So what I'm going to do is, I could just, here, if you hit triangle, this shows you other missions in the area. This is objective raid for Davian against Karita. Since Karita is the bordering, it's the red up here. Since Karita's on their border, they're usually, there's conflict zones between Davian and Karita along this area here. Same thing with Liao. Davian and Liao is constantly, there's conflict zones across here where they're constantly battling. Which is why these 2 factions, I started out with a lower reputation, a -1 to my negotiation. But because I started in Davian space, I've got a higher reputation with Davian. I started higher than these 2. And even Merrick. Even Merrick is at a negative, where Steiner is at a positive, only because Steiner and Davian are allies. And later in the timeline, they actually join, there's a marriage between the 2, from the ruling families, and they join to create one house that basically just cuts right across the center. And there's another house that pops up here later on the timeline. So things develop over the course of time as you progress through the story. But for right now, the missions that we have are increase your reputation. I'm at reputation 3. And this right here is telling me, well, once I get to my reputation 4, Cantina missions will show up. And they're basically little side missions. which are great ways to get higher tier weapons, increased money. The cantinas will be like at different, I mean, the cantinas will pop up mostly where there's like a market right there. You see a little like shopping cart, that means there's a market there. Black market, actually. And that's usually where cantinas will show up. But cantinas are just, you can have 6, you can have no more than 6 at a time. And again, it's just for like, well, here, I'll show you the, I might have already gone over this, so if I have gone over this in a previous episode, well, sorry, I'm going to go over it again. These right here, these career. So there's some cantina missions to go to a particular system and collect a piece of equipment. Like, so you have to accept a mission, and then while you're on that battlefield, you have to find a piece of equipment to salvage, and to turn that in for that. Mech Collector is basically turning in mech chassis that you've collected, whether you buy them, salvage them off the battlefield. Mech Hunter is for killing a certain number of a specific type of mech. Treasure Hunter is, now Treasure Hunter is the one I first described, where you go on a mission, you got to collect the equipment and bring it back. That's Treasure Hunter. Equipment Collector is just like 10 tier 0 machine guns, or 4 tier 3 lasers, medium lasers, something like that, you know. So these you can either buy or salvage, but it's equipment that you actually equip on your mech, like weapons, and or the superchargers. War Dog is for like different types of vehicles, destroying 30 air units, destroying 20 tanks. But then there'll be missions for each specific type of tank, not just tanks in general, or land vehicles. But anyway, so that's how the cantina missions work. So we do want to get our reputation to 4 fairly quickly, and the only way to do that is to take missions. So we are a mercenary company, don't forget. You have to work to get paid. Alright, so Outward Alliance versus Independence. Independence, multiple missions. I don't have enough mechs to start a multiple mission. That means a mission, you end one mission and it immediately leads into another mission, so you need multiple mechs because you do not have time to repair in between unless you have multiple mechs. So not prepared for multiple missions at this time. Again, Davian versus Karita. We have 2 assassination contracts here. I'm not really wanting to continue wrecking that Karita reputation. So I'm going to jump over here and see what pops up on the map. So the more you travel, the more things you'll discover. Now, we're not in a conflict zone or an industrial hub, so there's really nothing in this, like, there's nothing here in this system. There's no, well, there is a merchant. Huh. That's odd. So there is, I mean, it's not crap. There's not crap available here. A couple of rifles, a heavy and a light rifle, large chemical laser, small chemical, I mean, that's, but mechs, no pilots to hire. Again, this is, these systems that are just out there kind of in the middle, there's no really point in going to most of the time. But this at least popped up icons here to let me know what's here. So there's a couple of rare mechs. I can go there to see what those mechs are, buy another mech, hire another pilot. But now I at least have, I can see what's in this system over here, or conflict zone. It opened up this conflict zone over here, but that's reputation 5. A little above my pay grade at this time. I'm not really prepared to go into that conflict zone and handle those type of missions. I'm just not there yet. But this is one of those Davian Karita front line. This is one of the conflict areas where they're constantly fighting each other. But here, down here, we can go ahead and look at these. So Independence against Davian. Davian versus 2 Karita and 1 against Independent. I prefer to find pirate missions or bandit missions, because at some point I would like to... Oh, right there. Perfect. That's what I was looking for. So we've got 2 Davian, so we can increase our reputation with Davian while wrecking our reputation with pirates. Well, I don't care about my reputation with pirates. So those are the 2 missions I'm going to be looking forward to once we get down there. There's an actual pirate mission against Davian, but no, we're not taking that. Another pirate mission against Davian. Alright, so this is the system we're headed to. More things discovered. So again, I just ate up a bunch of money. I just spent a few 100,000 credits or C-bills traveling to the system I'm traveling to. But now we've got some contracts. Alright, but as far as this episode is concerned, this is it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you next time on the battlefield.